I don't know. My situation, I have to hold off a little bit. You can probably ask. You're in a good spot. You're in a good spot to ask. And if I were you, I'd pretty much.
Everybody take your seats. Take your seats, take your seats, take your seats. The meeting will be started in just a second.
That's what I'm saying.
Where's my mask, Andrew? You know better. Y'all both acting up. You are not going to see your
I love that.
Well, you need to act like it.
It's still a relationship.
Well,
Everyone, please take your seats. Okay. Oh, I forgot the gavel.
Cole,
It's okay.
you never watch that gavel.
All right, just a note to everyone, we will be using Zoom for voting again. Jen, if you can go ahead and begin to collect the votes. I'm looking around and I think we're okay. But as it is now 7:30, I do not have my gavel, but the meeting will now come to order. So everyone, please give me your attention. We're going to have some discussion today on college reports and committee reports, so just be ready for that. Moving forward, some things will be a bit different. Me and Graf have talked at length, and we talked to the committee, some of the exec committee about it as well. So just be ready for a few changes, nothing major. I'll talk about that before we get into our reports. But of course, today we'll begin with open forum. So if you would like to utilize open forum, you can come to the front at this time. I guess Coleman's walking in some people.
Hello everyone, my name is Kate Phillips and I'm so honored and excited to be supporting Lady Frances Hamilton for this homecoming this year.
Hi everyone, my name is Jake Darling. I'm also supporting Lady Fran for homecoming this year. Lady Fran's campaign, Me Camp with Lady Fran, focuses in on the empowering Auburn students and the embodiment of the Auburn family.
Well, War Eagle, y'all, my name is Lady Frances Hamilton. Thank y'all so much for having us here tonight. I will keep this brief. I know that y'all have a lot to do, but my platform, We Camp for Lady Fran, is centered upon three things.
The first is that we can make Auburn a home to all prospective students who are visiting, that we can make them feel encouraged and welcome here and let them see that this too can be their home. The second is that we can cater to the current students who go to Auburn and helping them find where they belong on campus, whether that be through involvement, through different organizations, O-Days, helping them understand how to work AU involved, anything like that. We want to help them get acclimated and turn this place into their home. And then the third portion, y'all, is about alumni, continuing to connect with them and to let them see that this continues to be their home far after the 4 years that they're here. So with that, guys, thank you so much. Thank y'all for loving Coleman the way that you do. She has been the most incredible CM, and I'm just really humbled to be here with y'all.
Hey y'all, my name is Collins McMurray, and it has been an honor to be able to support and stand along with Lady Francis as she runs for Miss Homecoming. Her platform and campaign really focuses on the meaning of the word homecoming, and it's cool to see how it will be embodied as we are welcoming past, present, and future students to come and celebrate our school and the Auburn family this week as we have our homecoming game.
Thank y'all for having us today. It's been such an honor to serve as Lady Francis' CM these last couple of weeks, and it's such an honor to serve among all of y'all. We hope y'all will be able to support Lady Francis during this week, and we're so excited to see y'all on the concourse.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to utilize open forum at this time?
Hey y'all, I'm Kate, and I'm connecting with Carly this week because in the past 2 years there's been more collective deaths due to mental health than there have COVID-19.
Hey y'all, I'm Jake Mason, and I'm connecting with Carly this week to help spread awareness about Auburn's mental health resources.
What's up, guys? This week I have the pleasure of standing alongside my friend, Carly Arbro, as she runs for Miss Homecoming. She has been one of the most fantastic leaders I've ever met here at Auburn. I really hope you have the chance to get to meet her over this next week. Here to talk about the platform she's so passionate about. As a campaign, she's partnering with the Veterans Resource Center. Really trying to improve the stigma around mental health. So I hope you get the chance to meet her, and I hope you decide that you think she's your Miss Homecoming this year.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to utilize open forum? Bradley?
Good.
Hey guys, my name is Emmy Zuber, and I'm currently the Director of Health and Wellness for Auburn's Cabinet, for SGA. And I'm here today just to tell you guys a little bit about an initiative that we've been working on. I just want to make sure that you all know that it's happening so we can make sure that Auburn students know that it's happening. And it's called Raise the Bar. So just by a show of hands, how many of you guys have heard of Raise the Bar? Okay, that's a good handful, so that's really great. Raise the Bar is an initiative that we've started in conjunction with the Health Promotion and Wellness Service Office to go and train local bars and businesses in bystander intervention and just about how to help students in the event of sexual assault or if they see an instance of sexual harassment happening in their establishment. So we've done a couple of trainings so far. We've done Southeastern, 1716, and last week we did two trainings at Sky Bar, which went really well. So we're really excited about that, and we have a couple of trainings coming up. We are doing one for the Collegiate Hotel in early October, and we're in communication right now with Moe's. So those are two things to be looking forward to, but I need all of y'all's help to spread the word to Auburn students, because a lot of the conversations we've been having with the different bars and businesses is, yes, we've done this training, now they know what to do in the event that something does happen, but we need Auburn students to know that the resource exists. So, if they are downtown and if something unfortunate does happen, we want them to know that they can go to a bartender or door staff or a security member and say, hey, this is going on, and because of the training, they'll have ideas of what to do. They'll be able to provide the resource sheets that Auburn University has provided to the different establishments, and so I just wanted to spread the word for you guys today. I'm going to leave some stickers up front for Raise the Bar if anyone wants one for their laptop, water bottle, whatever it may be, and thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Emmy.
Hey y'all, so I'm here to introduce my good friend Reagan Moss. She's gonna come and speak to y'all. Me and her were talking well, first of all, just some background about her. She's also the point of contact with President Peter at Auburn, person I've been working with on all of the menstrual products work, which you are going to hear more from us on that soon, but not quite yet. But I invited her to come speak because I feel like, without being kind of like dramatic or theatrical, I think that it's important to remember that like we like about the platform that we have and how it's not always commendations and good or flawless change. And if we're trying to hold truth to power, then I think we're the people in the room that can help do that. And so I'm inviting her to come speak and just talk to y'all a little bit about some of the work that she's been doing.
Okay, I have a lot to say, so I'll try and not take up too much time. In the past few weeks, the student body has, to more appropriate levels of magnitude, as compared to before, expressed sentiments that the university is not keeping the student body safe. This has paralleled requests for greater transparency and responsibility on behalf of safety and security, Title IX, and other university entities. While I think the expressed sentiments don't acknowledge the complexity of sexual violence and the difficulty of prevention, it does acknowledge that more prevention, intervention, and response should be and should have always have been carried out by the university. Any group that enables rape culture should be held responsible for facilitating that environment. While instances of sexual interpersonal violence may be complex and nuanced, the university's role is not. The university has held student groups responsible before for their actions, even ones remarkably less heinous than sexual violence. Clear consequences should be developed and enacted for any and every student organization that precipitates, feeds, excuses, and obscures any violent act, sexual in nature or not. It is the university's responsibility to develop these consequences and carry them forward. As we know, sexual violence is not unique to any student group, nor is there one particular profile of a student that is a victim nor a perpetrator. Hence, the entire student body should be accounted for. Notably, discrepancies across students and groups may help highlight particular mechanisms through which sexual violence occurs and thus might inform potential modes of intervention. The university should gather more holistic statistics on accounts of sexual violence to more accurately inform prevention and intervention. The university should have continually open forums to gather and communicate student concerns and needs to their appropriate entities, and I ask for SGA support in both of these endeavors. Importantly, I ask that we acknowledge successful initiatives and validated research when developing these consequences, likely leading to the inclusion of restorative justice elements. Restorative justice requires direct accountability in addition to healing for the victim and rehabilitation for the perpetrator. All the while, we should account for the uniqueness of our localized environment as acknowledged by any and every social and ecological model. SGA should research the initiatives and programs done at other universities. Notably, while this work is foundational, it won't be adequate and should be paired with the existing programs. There should be initiatives for the entirety of the Auburn community. SGA should work to engage parents, alumni, students, faculty, staff, and administration while accounting for the pervasiveness of sexual violence and its drivers at the individual, relational, communal, and societal level. I urge SGA to extend the conversation beyond Greek life, as that has been a central focus by many these past few weeks. While there's a high prevalence in Greek life, for reasons I don't want to provide social commentary on, a more effective initiative would focus on rape in relationships, coercion amongst peers, red flags of unhealthy dating, and other factors of accounts that are specific to the reports made by Auburn students. SGA should also focus on initiatives that debunk the myths and the parallel harmful narratives about sexual violence, including not only the victims but also the perpetrators. SGA should work to promote and elevate existing work and resources like Safe Kits, filing reports, safety and security, Safe Harbor, Green Dot, Title IX, rape counselors, and others. In addition, if SGA is to listen to and reflect student needs, SGA should be required to be well-versed in not only bystander intervention, but also foundational knowledge about sexual interpersonal violence. Bystander intervention is only an intervention after all, and it doesn't account for the social and relational complexity of sexual violence. Students should be required to attend Green Dot training as well as one-on-one training regarding sexual violence, and one that is catered to Auburn students. Over a year ago, I wrote to the administration and asked that we establish a student advisory board and develop accountability partners for each college, provide a high-risk security shuttle, rework the Auburn Alert emails, detail action steps that are reflective of characteristics specific to individual reports, develop clear written consequences for individuals and organizations, and raise awareness for the Start by Believing Room. I worked alongside safety and security to already rework the Auburn Alert emails, and also raise awareness for the Start By Believing Room. I'm in connection with Title IX, Safety and Security, Safe Harbor, and Green Dot to develop a high-risk security shuttle, a task force, and training for faculty and staff. As I mentioned, we should also include restorative justice training and a lot more funding to hiring more trauma therapists, as we only have two for a body of 30,000 people. I echo what I asked before in wishing for greater transparency from the university about the steps that they are taking to make campus safer. I asked before that we develop clear action steps and written consequences for individuals and organizations, neither of which have been done. I ask that SGA also vocalize their support for all of these requests. I also challenge everyone to consider why we haven't acknowledged this crisis prior to now to the same level of magnitude. If we're to address sexual violence on our campus, there must be more student buy-in. Policies can make it difficult to carry out actions that are reflective of harmful ideologies. However, at the end of the day, we as a student body better or worse than these ideologies that create the environment we exist and interact with. Whether or not there are formal reports, I know that we are all aware of the accounts and rumors of sexual violence at bars, fraternities, parties, house shows, and in dorms from our friends, family, and peers. And I challenge the student body to consider what role they are playing in their personal lives to eradicate sexual violence.
Would anyone else like to utilize open forum?
Good evening and War Eagle, everyone. So this week's meeting of Spectrum, as is usual, will be in Mel 3550 at 6 p.m. This week's topic is queer studies in academia. We will have a special guest speaker from Dr. Camden Strunk in the College of Education. For those of you unfamiliar with Dr. Strunk, he is either a member or the head of the Critical Studies Working Group, which is a group of faculty and staff in the College of Education that do research and provide input on more inclusive and diverse and equitable classroom practices. So if you would like to come and learn more about queer studies in academia, what it's like to be an LGBTQ+ student or faculty member in college at Auburn, and our experiences, we invite you to come. Or if you would like to learn more about the Critical Studies Working Group and how they are advocating for more diverse classroom practices here at Auburn, Dr. Strunk is a really great and wonderful resource to hear about that. Since we do not know how long the town hall on Wednesday will go, there is a possibility that we might push it back to 6:15 or 6:30 if it looks like a lot of people are, taking their time or showing up a little bit late after attending the town hall. I personally will also be at the town hall, as I could go into a lot of detail about how the LGBT community faces higher rates of sexual harassment and assault than most of the population, especially our transgender members. But that's a bit of a downer. So instead I will leave you on a happier note and say that I hope all of you will show up at the homecoming parade on Friday and catch us in the crowd with Pride on the Plains. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to utilize open forum at this time? All right. From now, moving to roll call. Jed, I believe he's already done that, so thank you. We now move into the approval of the minutes. So those were sent out electronically last week, and I'm asking now if there are any corrections to those minutes.
DeBoer Graduate School. First, I just want to see, Taylor, did you receive?
I did, but I don't think the copy that I had any corrections on it.
Okay.
I
It
opened
may
it.
be the track changes.
Okay.
That's okay. Okay, so I just wanted to see how quickly or slow I should. So on page 1 under open forum, Heather Mann, just for clarity, it already stated Auburn has made, item C, Auburn has made a lot of progress with inclusion with the LGBTQ community, and then more progress is needed for Auburn to make the top 20 list of LGBTQ-friendly universities in the future, just to be representative of all that she stated. Also on page 1 under executive officer reports, item D for Brett Wagner. scholarship to support the commitment to make the Auburn experience accessible to students statewide that have instead of has. Then on page 2, under college reports for the Samuel Ginn College of Engineering, just item B to clarify the career fair was in brown purple. Page 2, item J, College of Human Sciences, it should be most feedback revolved around instead of resolved. Page 3, item K, College of Liberal Arts, virtual career day, capitalizing. Also on page 3, under committee reports, Reese Lisenby, it should be budget bills hit the floor today. If you have any questions, direct them to her or the person who represents the bill. Yeah, and then page 4, item B for Black Student Union. 1, it should be introduced instead of introduces. And that's all I have.
Thank you. We will now move to reports of executive officers.
Hey guys, how are y'all doing? Good. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Couple things from me real quick. There's 2 things I'm going to ask as many people in this room as possible to go to. First thing is this Wednesday, the town hall. It's going to be at 4 p.m. I'd love to see as many people as possible in here be able to show up to that. And do one of 2 things. First is you can listen as a member of SGA and try to see how we can better respond to this stuff in the future as representatives of the student body. And the second is speak up about anything you have, any questions you've come up with, any concerns you have as well. So I'd love to see everyone there. And then the next thing is this Thursday at 4 p.m. The Presidential Search Advisory Committee has been doing, or is about to start, listening sessions where different parts of Auburn's constituency, get to show up, voice their opinion on what would make a good university president, what wouldn't, so on and so forth. And so the one specifically for students is going to be taking place this Thursday at 4 on Zoom. If you can't make it this Thursday at 4, you could also go to one of the 3 open forum listening sessions that are happening where anyone can come. And honestly, you could probably go to any of the ones that aren't specifically for our constituency either. You could go to one about faculty or whatever just to listen if you wanted to. But the details for those can be found if you Google Auburn University President Search. It's the first tab that comes up on the university website, and you can go into that and see all the Zoom link information, times, so on and so forth. Those are reports I have for y'all. Thanks, guys. Oh, and ask me any questions about either of those if you have them.
Thank you. Before we move to Stephen, I ask for once again all y'all's undivided attention. Stephen, you can come up. And since we're not on Zoom yet, maybe no laptops.
Only thing we've got Ring Week going on right now. Y'all probably seen all of our booths set up downstairs. Please swing by. Also, we've been getting a lot of feedback too about just things that people like, things that they'd like to see change about the ring as well. If y'all hear any of that, please just pass that along. I know finances have been a big thing because a couple of the rings are pretty expensive, so just pass along that information as well to us, please.
Yes, please promote rings. It's an awesome tradition. Moving to outreach.
Y'all are having a good evening so far. Some of the same announcements as last week. Heyday is October 13th. Volunteer registration is open. It's live on the website. You do, the majority of people who sign up to volunteers will get a free volunteer t-shirt, so make sure you're spreading the word. We want as many volunteers as possible. That is open until October 8th. And then another big favor I really want to ask y'all is I've been working with some of the faculty and staff who have been organizing this town hall, trying to relay that student feedback component to them, because it's our job, you know, you also have as senators, and our job as exec members to make sure that we're relaying feedback that our constituents are providing. And so I've been working with them, trying to get them as much feedback as possible so they can be answering the right questions, but I'm just like truly lacking on the feedback. The greatest way for y'all to help in that effort would be to submit Auburn answers. You can submit them anonymously for other people or for yourself. You do not have to put your Tiger email or anything, just understand you're not going to get a response back if you do that. But they've asked to have it kind of all centralized in one place, and so that's something that we're doing to help them, is getting that student feedback translated over to them. And then besides that, we have a voter registration drive coming up here in about a month. And as always, let me know if you have any questions about research requests. I know there's been some delays on surveys, and I apologize for that. It's external from SGA, so if you are still waiting on something and it's affecting a timeline, reach out to me and we will figure out a solution for you. That's all from outreach.
Thank you. There's no report from Michael, but Tyler, do you have one?
Hey guys, today at Camden we had green dot training, which is really effective. I know that Cole wants to do a little bit of that work with you guys. So anyone that you know that wants to get green dot trained or have any questions about the training, make sure you send that to the office, because they're very receptive to how they can maybe make that training better, or just things that they can do to kind of adapt, different things like that. We also had our freshman forum call-outs this weekend. So we got our new team. Got my man Justin in the back. And so if you ever see a former, maybe you'll come, make sure to just say hello to them. Maybe tell them a little bit about your position, your college, different things like that, your roles on campus.
Thank you, Tyler. So that will conclude our reports from our executive officers. So I just want to give a little bit of an intro before I let Graf speak on this a lot more. But something that I've noticed, and I believe you all have too, is that our reports tend to be redundant sometimes in the content that we're hearing. Moreover, and this is nothing against the reports that have been given thus far, your job as senators is to provide and collect feedback on the legislation that we pass on the floor. And I've heard so much about socials and events. While those are awesome, that's really not our role. That's the role of the school's council, to be coordinating those things and reciprocating those to their students. And while I appreciate and understand it's our job to be informed, that's really why I'm trying to push for schools council to become more involved in the Senate, so that we can hear more about those things from them. And what I'd really like to be hearing more about is the reports from your colleges on feedback about material pertinent to bills, commendations, and resolutions that we can pass on this floor. So with that being said, one way to mitigate that is potentially going to be shifting the way that we do reports, so that college reports won't be happening every week, and we can alternate between doing college reports and committee reports. I think this could be really effective, because you all know, undoubtedly, that if we were to go play the Eagle Eye TV replay from last week, I almost guarantee we would hear nearly the same thing repeated from every college more than once. There's nothing wrong with that. However, it's just something we need to shift out of and phase more into really trying to stick strictly to what the Senate's role is, and that's to pass legislation and provide feedback on that legislation on behalf of the people who elected you. So with that being said, today we're not going to implement that because it's a little early, but I just wanted to begin discussing that with you guys. And so we'll start with reports from colleges, but I once again ask to maybe refrain from giving those updates if they don't strictly pertain to something that I just mentioned. And honestly, if you're not comfortable with doing that, I would not be opposed to a no report. With that being said, we will begin with at large.
Matthews at large. The only thing from us really is that a bunch of us went to the Penn State game, and there's no way for them to edit out all the orange that was there in the stadium, and that Auburn really does truly travel and support their team.
Moving now to agriculture.
Morgan, agriculture.
And if you could be really loud and aim it at that microphone for every single person.
feedback we got this past week are students being confused and concerned that when they want to go to the rec, they have nowhere to park. And then on Thursday, I know I sent out a Google form to the group me. Got some great responses so far, but if all of you can please fill that out and send it to your school's council members for them to fill it out, that'd be really helpful to get some good feedback. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving now to CAD C.
Ensign, Cat C. I emailed our Dean, Vinnie Nathan, concerning the plaque on Wallace Hall. I was referred to Mr. John Wagner, Secretary of the Board of Trustees, and I'm going to read an excerpt from his response to my inquiry and the situation now. It says, we have heard from members of the Auburn family on all sides of this issue and understand that there are varying options along the continuum regarding how the university may or may not have elected to proceed. While we regret that some of your constituents are dissatisfied with the board's decision, please know that we will share your email with board leadership to make sure their opinions are known. Many hours of research and analysis went into this now effectuated decision, and the matter is no longer under review. I know this decision is disappointing to the students of CAD C, especially with our peer institution, the University of Alabama, announcing that they will be changing the names of 2 buildings on their campus with troubled namesakes this past weekend. I feel that the board's decision was not made in the interest of the students in the college, which should be what matters, and that they failed to acknowledge the troubled past of this university effectively like Alabama has.
Thank you. Moving now to COSAM.
Nyack, COSAM. So regarding the college itself, really truly only freshmen, they've brought up some concerns. Specifically with registration, a lot of them are not very well informed on how their timing is going to be and all that kind of stuff that a lot of us maybe dealt with freshman year, but that's really the only kind of inquiries I've got on the COSAM side of things. Now moving on to Operation Rook, Cole and I actually sat down with, let me make sure I'm getting it right, Air Force Staff Sergeant Mike Patterson this past Thursday morning. And so during that conversation, we really got to formulate how we're going to get this whole video operation on the road. And something I want to clear up on the get-go is that I am not going to be participating in Operation Rook. I'm not going to take credit for being on that journey because I'm going to be there to film, I'm going to be there to document, but I am not doing what they are doing out there because they're definitely doing something I can't do in this condition right now. So specifically what we talked about was how exactly I'd be able to film, get on the vans, move around. So I think the way that we're carving it out is they're going to have their full plan laid out. They've been working on this since May from what he's told us. And I'm just going to see where I can fill in, where I can come in and get some good shots and slowly build up that story and everything over time. And also build up their social beforehand, maybe training and all that kind of stuff. So that's really Operation Rook. We just filmed this past week an ODK homecoming video, which is the first of its kind to talk about the history of homecoming and to introduce that to the student body. That right now is actually submitted to Auburn to see if it's reviewed and eventually posted on social for Auburn. And so that's pretty much all I have, but some pretty exciting stuff to yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Artie. Moving to education.
After education, so no report from me or Senator Law this week, but we actually are thrilled to say that we have Anne Marie, our president, and Emily, and our vice president of the schools council here with us today. So with that, I'm going to yield my time real quick to Anne Marie and y'all.
Hey y'all, I'm Anne Marie. First, I want to say thank y'all for having us here. It's really exciting to be here and see everything that happens. So first off, I want to tell y'all some of the things we've been working on or that are coming up.
Moving to engineering.
Log engineering. So some feedback we got. We had the career fair last week, and the reason I bring that up is that we got a lot of feedback about people having to miss class to go to the career fair for interviews or job opportunities. And this is something that came up, I think, 2 years ago when I was in cabinet and senate, kind of like worked on it, and also last year on like trying to make an approved excuse when you're going for career opportunities. So that'd be a good thing for the academic affairs community to pick back up. Some other feedback I got was that people were still really having a lot of trouble like scheduling appointments to the med clinic. And then today I kind of like did it to test it out, and then like it's still true. Like when you call them, like you'll be on hold for like 30 seconds, and then the line will just go dead. And like I really get it, not to be like not understanding, because like I'm extremely thankful to everything the clinic's done, especially with the pandemic. I understand like in the beginning of the pandemic, but it does like 2021. It could be nice to have like a web portal, schedule an appointment online. So just some feedback on that.
Thank you. Forestry and Wildlife Sciences.
Starling School of Forestry and Wildlife Sciences. So on our half of reports, we don't have anything bad, which is good. I did speak with one student directly who initially brought up our dining issue, and in his direct words, the School of Forestry is perfect right now. So that's awesome news. And contributing to that perfection, Pizza at Terrell is coming back this week. It started today. We'll hear more about that turnout this Wednesday, and my hope is to at some point observe an office hour in Terrell to incentivize students to come to me and go to Terrell.
Thank you. Graduate School.
The board, graduate school. So first of all, shout out to Michael for taking the time to review a survey for parking. We finally got a survey out on Thursday. As of about 7:15 this evening, we have 795 responses. So, yeah. So very easy to get responses on that topic, and so I'll start digging into all of that information this week. Also some feedback on dining. So I was actually there when there was a changeover earlier last week to like paper plates and other things. But I heard from a few graduate students that the cup lids, and I actually tested this out at the end of last week, the cup lids that they had available, at least on the first floor, didn't fit for either the like soft drinks or for the coffee cups. So you couldn't really take anything to go in that regard. Other than that, just receiving feedback about graduate student insurance, and the hearing from Brett, hopefully, this week, just about moving forward and looking at other insurance options for students. And then lastly, I got to speak with the Associate Dean for Research for the College of Human Sciences to speak on behalf of some of the graduate students from Human Development and Family Studies to share some concerns about mentorship and just ways to improve communication in college. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Human Sciences.
Williams Human Sciences, nothing from me except I'm just continuing to collect feedback from the design students about their schedule and their concerns about that.
Thank you. Liberal Arts.
Belser Liberal Arts in Norwood.
Thank you. Nursing.
Accepted in nursing, we've been working towards getting some feedback from pre-nursing students about hopefully establishing a pre-nursing liaison, just from some like prelim type of feedback that we've gotten. A lot of pre-nursing students feel like they're kind of homeless and are not really a part of school of nursing. We have like 600 students who are pre-nursing, and then like 400 who are up for division, and usually like schools council and senate is like all going to be as a pre-nursing student, and just the interest of a pre-nursing student versus like a nursing student are completely different. So we're really hoping to get some more of that feedback of the thought of that for pre-nursing students and how we can better serve them.
Thank you. Pharmacy.
Peace, pharmacy. So I have sent out our birthday week survey, so I've been getting some feedback on that. It's been really valuable. Got a lot of good suggestions for next year. And then also, since it's my last chance to announce an event, we are having a health fair this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. outside of the pharmaceutical building. So if you want to get your blood pressure or your blood glucose checked, then come by the pharmacy school.
Thank you. now move into committee reports, starting with academic affairs.
McElroy, liberal arts. Okay, so our campus calendar survey, I believe, is still at ASP for approval. As soon as we see that, look for that in the Senate group chat, because we're going to be sending that out so that everybody can show for their constituents. We're letting Cabinet take over the loanable laptop initiative. I know I've talked a lot about that over the past couple months. There's been a lot of progress on that recently, and we're not really needed, so any questions or feedback about that can be directed at Alan. We're still going to help if they need us. However, we're letting them take that over. We're looking into aspirant institutions for how they do their grading policies. Again, I talked about that last week. If any of y'all have come up with anything for that that you think we should look into, please direct an email my way, and I'm happy to take a look into it. And then we're brainstorming a new project, and we're open to ideas. I'm going to ask about it last week. I already heard from Riley, the career fair class excuses. I think that's something great to look into. But we're looking at a couple right now, and we would love a couple more ideas.
Thank you. Moving to budget and finance.
Listen, being at large, budget bills are current orders today. That's all. Exciting.
Thank you. Code of laws.
Current education. So Senator McDonald sent a Google form in the group message like he mentioned during his college report. But if y'all would, please take the time to fill that out and also send to your respective schools councils. It's going to help us get a lot of great feedback. And we already have a good amount of responses, but we would really like to have some more by Wednesday at our committee meeting, so we can kind of take that next step and decide what that next step would be going in that direction. And then on the other side of things, Senator Dickinson and Starling are continuing to work on that PowerPoint that's going to compile all of that feedback and assessment we received, so that we can present it to you all. Whether or not we decide to go in the direction of including this responsibility or not, we would like to still show you guys how we came to whatever decision we do make. So yeah, that's what it says.
Thank you. DEI.
Also liberal arts. So first, today we have our liaison definition coming. You can see it's on future orders, and so we talked about it in exec. We talked about a few different things with it, multiple cool things. We're really excited, and hopefully with maybe the nursing liaison, if you guys decide to confirm and create that position, we'll actually put that in place for the first time officially. In our committee meeting, we are still all sort of working on our initiatives, waiting on some feedback, and so we've just spent the entire meeting talking about sort of 30 incidents around sexual assault. We drafted a few different things. We're sort of awaiting a statement from SGA and from other partners before we sort of decide any legislation that can come out of it, as well as collect consumer feedback. And this week we're awaiting Senator Seckinger's word about her meeting with President Wagner. So we're excited for that. That's all.
Thank you. Student affairs.
Matthews at large.
That's 3 for 3. That's 3 weeks ago. Yep.
Jake is moving forward with his basketball timeline. It's at the help of Sam. So we should have exciting results from their research and their timeline in a couple weeks. Next off, Riley and his team are meeting this week. They set up a doodle poll to figure out what time to meet. So like he said, and heard from Reagan earlier, that we should have more details on that in the coming weeks as well. And then Kate, her ice machine survey ended this past week, and now she started compiling data. So all three, we should have more data and more information on those in the coming weeks.
Thank you so much, Graf, with the executive committee.
Sullivan, engineering. Sorry, guys. So just to start, same way I start every week. City executive meeting this Thursday at 7 a.m. We had a bunch of people attend last week. It was a hoot and a half. Really wish y'all could come visit us this week. You are required to once a semester. So at some point you have to show up. So might as well make it this week. Next, office hours. So I know all of you saw my email / groupie message about office hours being a little bit stricter, making sure they're done at 7:30. I know all of you complete every week. I read what you do, so I have no concern there. Kind of the goal behind that is to make sure that you're filling it out right after you do your office hour. So everything you learn and everything you did is as fresh as possible in your mind. That way we're kind of making sure communication is at the highest level possible. So from now on, if I do check the poll or check the book and your name has not, or your officer has not been completed, it will count as an absence. It is 0.33 3 absences per office hours. So it can be up to 2/3 of an absence per week, which will add up very quickly. Really a minor thing, just remember to fill it out. I trust you guys. I know what's going on. I understand maybe if you're doing shaker distribution, if you want to fill it out the next Monday when you're on campus, not the end of the world, but just try to fill it out, in a prompt and timely manner, and definitely before 7:30 on Monday nights. The next thing we've got is Cole's already touched on it briefly, but in terms of committee and college reports. So I think it's really just the nature of the beast with Senate. A lot of what we do is kind of long-term projects. There's not a whole lot that, without special circumstances, that we push forward very quickly. So Cole and I, kind of talked about it and then brought it to Senate exec. And we as a group have decided that we do think that moving forward it would be appropriate to do alternating reports. So one week we'll do committee reports, the next week we'll do college reports. The next week we'll do committee reports, the next week we'll do college reports. Just that way, you have 2 weeks between what you're doing. 2 weeks is a lot more time to get something done. With the way our projects work, a lot of them do take 2 weeks minimum. So that's going forward. In addressing what should be said in these reports, just kind of as a reminder, I think we did a really good job at the beginning of the year. I think it's kind of tailed off a little bit. So reports, I see them as really useful for 2 things. One, if you have any sort of feedback relating to a bill that you think is important, then of course that's a great time to do that. Of course you can use debate to talk about feedback, but say you don't necessarily have an opinion on the matter, you just know what your students have been telling you, you're not trying to make a point of debate, it's just more of a time to give information to other students, other senators, so they can more effectively make their decisions. So you can do that during your reports. And then 2, if you hear what's been going on in your college, so I think Riley did a great job today, where he said, okay, we heard people were having a problem with this. How about you all go out into y'all's colleges and see if that's a problem as well. So kind of just giving each other things to look for during office hours. I understand sometimes it can be kind of overwhelming. There's a lot, as great as Auburn is, there's a lot going on and a lot of things you can tackle. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. So it'd be a great time to kind of give each other stuff to work on and say, hey guys, I think this was a good idea. Someone brought this to me. Is this a problem campus-wide or is this an engineering-specific problem? So that's another thing. I also think even with events, I think Senator Neese did a great job. Something where I can get my blood checked, that's an event that I would attend. So that's an event that you can talk about here at Senate. Something like a college engineering headshots that are specifically for the college engineers, that no one that is not an engineer can get their headshots. Not exactly super pertinent to the rest of Senate. So just kind of keep that in mind as we move forward. We will start next week with just committee reports. So next week we'll have committee reports. The week after that, then we will move back to college reports. After that, committee reports, and so on for the rest of the term. Thank you.
Thank you, Grant. I hope you're all paying attention. All right, moving now to our liaison reports, starting with honors.
Owens, Honors Congress Liaison. So, unfortunately, our much anticipated philanthropy event, Congress for Canines, was postponed due to the uncooperating weather all last week. We are working hard with Pups on the Plains to reschedule the event as quick as possible. Our first newsletter from the media committee came out last week that kept our members well informed of everything that's going on. We commend the members that worked hard to get that first report out. And our next meeting will be a general meeting this Wednesday at 7 p.m. in the library. We have a guest speaker on philanthropy and Alicia Powers. Every member will be there as we will discuss future plans and ambitions for the organization. Thank you and have a great rest of your week.
Thank you so much. BSU, Donovan.
Evans, BSU. Not much. Today's Monday, so of course we had our General Assembly, and this is me outstretching my arms. You guys are welcome. Each and every Monday, this room exactly 5 o'clock. Other than that, no updates.
Thank you so much. Leah cannot be here today, but finally, on my little document that I always reference, and I always get this wrong, I can say again, the freshman committee is now here, and so I'm going to ask if you just come up and introduce yourself real fast. And form. Woohoo!
Alrighty, good evening, y'all. My name is Judson Lisenby. I'm on the full committee. I'm in the College of Liberal Arts, and my major is Health and Services Administration.
Awesome. Are you related to someone in here?
I am related to
Oh,
someone.
that's awesome.
That's my brother!
If you didn't catch the whole last name.
We don't look anything alike.
Anyway, that will conclude our liaison reports. Thank you very much. You can expect to hear from the freshman committee each week. We will now be moving into current orders of business, so everyone heads up, please. If you could join this Zoom link, at this point I feel like you all should have it, and I'm just going to expect that, so please all join that link so that we can vote. Our first order of business will be PSSB 2109-2001. I did that from memory. Do you guys see that? And it will be presented by Nick Seward.
Seward Business asked for approval of the following: the allocation of $102,790 for the emerge budget for the 2021-22 fiscal year. The amount will be allocated among the following categories as shown: emerge general $19,900, initiatives $13,000, Leadership Institute $48,900, leadership retreat $13,500, and student stipends $7,490.
Are there any questions? Oh. Yes. It's open. All right. Seeing that there are no questions, we'll move into a debate. Oh, yes, question.
What is the Leadership Institute?
Nick, I actually do know this was mine. This was mine. Is this emerging out leadership?
Yeah.
When I was on budget and finance, I did this. Leadership Institute is, if I'm correct, and Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember when I did this last year, it's like the provider who helps sponsor the content provided from that, like we end up using during Emerge. So Leadership Institute is the one helping us create all the content and materials for the entire curriculum for the entire year of Emerge.
Okay.
Yes. I also remember seeing that and being like, we're paying that institute too much, but it turns out no.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
It's like their curriculum.
Yeah, it's their curriculum model. Which, yes, Rhett.
And they,
It's also a conference.
But does that count for the conference, or is that just the?
That's for the conference, and the curriculum that goes with the conference.
Oh, got it. Okay. So it's also for them to attend the conference.
Do we send people to the conference?
yes.
It's also open to like all students, not just emerging.
Is it here, or is it like?
It's usually off campus somewhere.
Yeah, so I will need to direct the answer. So Graf, if you'd like to answer this question right now, you can. Okay.
I'm just gonna say, you need to stand up and say your name if you're responding to.
Yeah, and also like, quit talking to each other. That's not how it works. You all know that? All right. Are there any further questions? Seeing none, we'll move. Oh, yes, Reese.
Would you like me to explain it from the line item?
Yes.
Okay.
Reese.
Give me a second, let me get the box.
Don't forget to say your name and college.
Listen to me at large. Here's the line item. The curriculum for Leadership must be purchased directly from Leadership Institute. So it has curriculum fees, operational expenses, transportation to the Leadership Retreat, facility rental, and then day 7, which is a type of programming that allows participants to bring the concepts they learned into their communities and allow for meaningful and long-term change. Costs involve room rentals, snacks, and supplies.
Is that available to anyone?
No, I don't. Leadership is available to everybody.
Okay. Are there any further questions? All right, seeing none, we'll move into debate. Is there any debate? All right, seeing none, we'll move into a vote. All of those, oh wait, no, we won't.
I move to pass this bill as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, now we'll move into a vote. All those in favor, please say aye and comment yes. All those opposed, please say no. Andrew Sadie, why is your picture my photo from 3 years ago? Jeez. All right. The ayes have it and the bill is passed as written. We'll now move into PSSB 21092002, presented by Mary Logan Sefton for the service final budget request.
Ask for approval of the following: the allocation of $93,706 for the service programs budget for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. This amount will be allocated among the following categories as shown. The allocation of $14,700 to Auburn University Dance Marathon for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. Leadership training, $4,800. Publicity, $1,500. Shirts and name tags, $2,500. Events, $5,850. The allocation of $13,750 to alternative student breaks for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. Advisor costs, $2,500. Publicity, $1,500. Leadership training, $6,250. MLK trip, charter buses, $1,200. Shirts and name tags, $2,300. And the allocation of $6,875 to Beat Memo Food Drive for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. Publicity, $1,500. Events, $3,000. Leadership training, $1,000. Shirts and name tags, $1,375. The allocation of $8,000 to Impact for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. Publicity, $3,050. Leadership training, $2,000. Special projects, $500. Shirts and name tags, $2,750. Volunteer appreciation, $500. The allocation of $22,450 to the big event for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. Storage units, $4,800. Website, $1,000. Apparel, $7,250. Events, $4,750. Publicity, $1,400. Leadership training, $3,250. The allocation of $5,500 to general service programs for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. Office equipment and supplies, $3,000. Service programs promotion, $2,500. The allocation of $3,855 to risk management for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. Motor vehicle reports, $1,125. Background checks, $2,730. The allocation of $11,356 to Give Pulse licensing for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. Give Pulse license, $11,356. The allocation of $6,420 to student stipends for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. Motor vehicle reports, $6,420. That should say student stipends. Where it says
Just finish reading it, then you can.
student stipends, $6,420.
Are there any questions?
Lock engineering. What is Give Pulse licensing?
Mary Logan, do you want to answer that?
So Give Pulse is basically just like a tracking thing so that once everyone like registers, they can check in on Give Pulse, and it just like keeps a running list of everyone who attended the event and who serves like at whatever particular event, and it keeps up with like points in the long run too. So like if you serve at like Impact like and the big event, like it keeps tally of like that you were at the like on profile.
Are there any further questions? Seeing none, we'll move into debate. Is there any debate? Mary Logan, you'd be provided the first point of debate, so if you'd like to make an amendment, you would do so now.
So then I just move to amend, instead of it saying motor vehicle reports at the end, for it to say student stipends.
An amendment has been made to the bill. Is there a second?
Second.
Seeing a second, we'll move into a vote. All those in favor, please say aye and comment yes. All those opposed, please say no and comment no. All right, the amendment is passed as written. So motor vehicle reports will now read student stipends.
I move to pass this bill through.
A motion has been made. Is there a second?
Last names, what am I saying?
Yes. That can just be, let's just change that. I don't think we need to amend it to change adding her last name. We'll continue with the motion previously made, being to pass this bill as written. There was a second, therefore we'll move it to a vote. All of those in favor, please say aye and comment yes. All of those opposed, please say no and comment no. The ayes have it and the bill is passed as written. We'll now move into PSSB 21092003, presented by Cindy Williams from the College of Human Sciences.
Okay, Williams Human Sciences, I ask approval of the following: the allocation of $58,832.92 to the Black Student Union for the 2021-2022 fiscal year among the following categories: communication and marketing, $3,800; quick ties, $243; refuse for you, $600; fresh start frenzy, $1,690; the royalty pageant, $1,010; fall forum, $614; unity $1,600; general assemblies, $1,000; jazz and poetry, $10,980; Black History Month speaker, $10,000; first year experience, freshman and transfer committee, $600; community service, $3,710; recognition banquet, $2,400; academic success, $105; student stipends, $6,420; office supplies, $655.92; leadership development, $9,025; and soul food bazaar for $4,480.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Yes.
This is just a technical one that I just may not be aware of. But what about the status of Black Student Union allows SGA to allocate the budget to them, like rather than other clubs or different groups, also?
Good question. Sydney, would you like to answer?
Wait, say it one more time.
Because I was just wondering what separated this organization from others on campus that allows SGA to allocate a portion of our budget to them.
So technically this is a governance organization. The governance SAP consists of SGA, BSU, and ISO, the International Student Association. So those three are like, because yes, we are the Student Government Association, but technically, Black Student Union and International Student Organization has that, I'm not going to say status,
Well, it's
but
SAO status.
yeah, like, I mean, they are an SAO. They went through the process however many years ago to get that funding. So this is just another student activity organization, just like ABM or SGA or ISO.
Thank you.
Yep. Are there any more questions? All right, seeing none, we'll move into a debate. Is there any debate?
Oh, yes. 2 minutes. One, the D in development needs to be capitalized. We're down leadership development.
You'll have to motion.
Oh, sorry. I move to amend this
Mm-hmm. And make which changes?
the D in development, and then soul food bazaar. Bazaar has 2 A's.
2 Z's and 2 A's, or just 1 Z and 2 A's?
1 Z, 2 A's.
Okay.
A motion has been made to amend the bill as written. Is there a second? All those in favor, please say aye and comment yes. All those opposed?
Are those the same motion at the same time?
Yeah, she made 2 changes in the same amendment.
I was just, do I need to make them separate motions for
You
doing
know,
that?
they're already voted, so no.
They've
But
already
in the
voted.
future, yeah. That's cool. Sorry, this is like going insane.
All right, the amendment was passed.
I move to pass this bill as written.
A motion has been made. Is there a second? Seeing a second, we'll now move into a vote. All those in favor, please say aye and comment yes. All of those opposed, please say no and comment no. All right, the bill is passed as written. We'll now move into PSSB 21092004, once again presented by Cindy Williams.
I ask approval for the following: the allocation of $56,800 $1,484 to the International Student Organization for the 2021-2022 fiscal year among the following categories: office supplies and equipment, $819, social hours, $31,000, peace dinner, $13,450, World's Fair, $1,420, recognition banquet, $3,770, promotional items and printed materials, $1,940, name tags and polos, $1,410, and student stipends in the amount of $2,675.
Thank you. Are there any questions? All right, seeing none, we'll move into debate. Is there any debate? All right.
I move to pass this bill.
Motion has been made. Is there a second? Seeing a second, we'll now move into a vote. All of those in favor, please say aye and comment yes. Aye. All of those opposed, please say no and comment no. The ayes have it, and the bill is passed as written. We'll now move into PSSB 21092005, presented by Ashley Harris.
Ask for approval of the following: the allocation of $177,895.99 to the student media, student activity portfolio for the 2021-2022 fiscal year budget. The amount of $29,623 will be allocated among the following categories to legal radio: engineering equipment, $10,000; membership subscriptions, $2,400; publicity, $1,000; website maintenance, $1,443; web streaming, $3,500; live events, $6,000; student stipends, $4,280; executive officer, $20,000. The amount of $86,308 will be allocated among the following categories to the Department of Audit: event services, $2,500; marketing, $1,000; membership subscriptions, $305; photo services, camera maintenance, $1,000; printing, $70,000; supplies, $500; uniforms, $1,000; website maintenance, $1,433; student stipends, $8,560. The amount of $39,231.99 will be allocated among the following categories to Eagle Eye TV: equipment, $15,000; software, $11,000; data plan, $2,788.89; website maintenance, $1,443; membership and subscriptions, $150; conference travel, $500; publicity, $500; student stipends, $5,250; executive officers, $2,500.
Awesome. Oh,
The amount of $22,733 will be allocated among the following categories to the Auburn Circle: printing, $17,000; website maintenance, $1,443; events and services, $1,000; publicity, $1,000; memberships and subscriptions, $150,000; student stipends, $2,140.
thank you. Are there any questions? Yes, Sam.
Is there a discrepancy of your second to last amount at the cents?
Yes, I believe there was. I believe that 89 cents, if we go up, there was a portion that had 89 at the, yeah, for data plan, and it should be 99 cents.
Once we move into debate, you can motion to amend that. Are there any further questions? And don't forget, when you ask a question, you need to start with name and school. All right, we'll now move into debate.
I moved to an amendment.
Which is,
Change the 89 cents to 99.
is there a second? Seeing a second, we'll now move into a vote. All those in favor, please say aye and comment yes. The amendment has been passed. You may now motion to.
I move to pass this bill written.
Is there a second? Seeing a second, we'll now move into a vote. All those in favor of passing this bill as written and amended, please say aye and comment yes. All those opposed, please say no and comment no. The ayes have it, the bill is passed. We'll now move into PSSB 2109-2006, presented by Mr. Justin from the College of Engineering.
Justin Engineering. I ask for the approval of the following. The allocation of the amount $244,243.29 to the Student Government Association for the 2021-2022 fiscal year budget. The amount will be allocated among the following categories as shown. Academic programs, $1,560. Athletic programming, $30,000. OBBY, $45,338.29. Better relations, $3,400. Communications and marketing, $15,800. Creed Day, $3,450. Elections, $500. Executive Council, $3,400.
You're good, I'm sorry. Sorry, you moving to scroll. My bad.
External Affairs, $500. Freshman Forum, $2,050. Graduate and Professional Schools, $64,100. Heyday, $16,000. Initiatives, $500. Miss Auburn, $350. Outreach, $8,400. Schools Council, $6,500. Senate, $5,100. SGA Leadership Training, $2,150. Special Projects, $10,000. Student Stipends, $25,145.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Yes, Mr. Warren.
DeVore Graduate School. Could you explain the breakdown for the graduate and professional line item?
Yes, Stephen Stady will answer that.
So 52,000 roughly. It's graduate school, and then I believe it's like I want to say 7,000 for vet med, and then 4 for pharmacy. That's what I want to say. So graduate school's council is getting most of that money.
I just wanted the clarification for the other
Okay.
professional schools. Thank you.
Okay, any more questions? Seeing none, we'll move into debate. A motion has been made to amend the bill as stated. Is there any debate? Seeing none, we'll move into, yes, Raph.
Can you just repeat the amendment?
Kyla, can you repeat but a little bit louder?
Yes, I said I move to amend this bill and add the word day to the end of better relations.
Is there a second? All those in favor of passing this amendment as stated, please say aye, comment yes into the chat.
I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Not anymore, no. Yes. Yes, Coleman, you could use a point of inquiry.
Never mind.
Okay. Trying to not have this chatter. The amendment is passed. Day has been added. You can now motion.
I move to pass this bill as written.
A motion has been made to pass the bill amended as written. Is there a second?
Second.
all, seeing a second, we now move to vote. So all those in favor, please say aye and comment yes. All those opposed, please say no and comment no. Thank you. The ayes have it. We will now move on to the next bill, PSSB 2109-2007, presented by Andrew Sadie from the College of Business, who's just not wanting his check. If you can aim towards that microphone.
Point of inquiry, please stop laughing. This is a Senate meeting. I ask for the approval of the following: the allocation of $211,907 to the Student Organization Student Activity Portfolio for the 2021-2022 fiscal year budget. The amount will be allocated among the following categories as shown: office supplies and equipment, $950, Engage, $42,007, O Fund, $150,000, Diversity Programming Fund, $10,000, and Student Organizations, $8,950.
Thank you. Are there any questions? All right, seeing none, we'll move into a debate. Is there any debate? All right.
I move to pass this bill as written.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. We'll now move into a vote. All those in favor, please say aye and comment yes. All those opposed, please say no and comment no. All right, thank you. The bill is passed as written. We'll now move to PSSB 2109-2008, presented by Ryan Hall from the College of Liberal Arts.
Hall Liberal Arts, ask for approval of the following: an allocation of $518,465 to the Programming Student Activity Portfolio for the 2021-2022 fiscal year budget. This amount will be allocated among the following categories as shown: campus tuitions, $48,050, executive, $45,500, films, $26,720, marketing, $26,000, special events, $68,775, technical productions, $2,445, Tiger Nights, $148,405, video games, $8,000, welcome week, $132,800, and student stipends, $11,770.
Are there any questions?
So engineering, just out of curiosity, what is executive?
So that's,
Ryan, I will let you answer if you're comfortable.
So as far as I'm aware, the executive is basically the executive team within the University Program Council. So that includes like the president of UPC, vice president, and kind of.
I will now defer Graf's initial question to Reese.
I'm gonna read it off for you. Uniforms, $5,000. Retreats and training, $2,500. NACA membership and conferences, $3,000. Facilities, $30,000. Films. Oh wait, no, sorry. Facilities is the last one. So.
Thank you. Are there any further questions? All right, seeing none, we'll move into debate. Is there any debate? All right, Ryan.
I move to pass this bill as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye and comment yes. All those opposed, say no and comment no.
Aye.
We'll now move, the bill is passed. We'll now move into PSSB 2109-20. Oh wait, so sorry. We're now moving to future orders. That concludes current. Beginning with PSSB, I think that just stops.
I don't know what that is.
It's just mad about how it goes. PSSB, it's okay. We're just, on my microphone. We're just gonna continue. If everyone will look at the Zoom screen, and I can share it.
Okay, there you go.
Does anyone have it pulled up, the agenda? Elizabeth, I will make Elizabeth a co-host very briefly. My wonderful laptop is on 4%. Okay, here we go. Everyone please pay attention. Elizabeth is now the co-host, meaning that that doesn't work, meaning that she can share the screen. So we've moved from current now to future orders, and we're going to start with PSSB 2109-2701, presented by Coleman Terms.
Ayes for approval. Trying to see it at large. Ayes for approval of the following to code change for 302.5. Senators will be allowed 3 unexcused absences in any given term. Upon accumulating more than 3 unexcused absences, they will be required to forfeit their membership in the student senate.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Yes.
How do you check your current absences?
So you didn't say your name or your college,
Sage business.
and I can answer that question. You would email Graph.
Sullivan, engineering. I actually also have a question. Probably should have asked this at some point before now. With this actually does technically change the content, even though it is a clarification towards the original meeting. Is this going to affect now, or is it starting the next term?
It'll go into effect as soon as it's in the code. So in 2 weeks. I don't make the rules, I follow them. Yes, question.
I thought I had read something recently where senators have 5 unexcused absences.
I'll
That's-
deflect that to Coleman.
That's according to the Constitution. So according to the Constitution, a senator is allowed to have 5 absences total in a given term. However, the Code of Laws has always allowed 3 unexcused, and so you could have like 2 unexcused, 3 excused, but that's still total up to 5. And you have to forfeit your membership for the Constitution.
Kyla.
After education, to give some more clarification on the point that Coleman just made, those 5 absences are only absences for Senate meetings, because they're the only absences that are a whole absence. Everything else is a fraction of an absence. So the Constitution states that senators can have 5 absences, whether that's excused or unexcused from a Senate meeting in one term. And if they have more than 5, then they'll have to forfeit their membership. The Code of Laws currently states that you can have up to 3 unexcused absences. And that's including every single kind of absence that there possibly is. That's been clarified.
All right, seeing no more questions, we'll now move on to PSSB 2109-27. I don't know if it is. Either way, we can move forward to the next future order. Hello. I can reject. PSSB 2109-2702, presented by Brandon Belser.
All right, Belser Liberal Arts. So there is a couple things that happened with like the formatting and weren't on the bill that I sent, but it'll be fixed. So definition of liaison appointment, roles, and responsibilities. Ask for approval of the following liaisons. Any recognized organization or constituency can request from the president of the student senate the creation of a liaison position. Liaison positions should demonstrate the need of a population that is underrepresented in the student senate. Liaisons are subject to confirmation as defined in Chapter 307 of the Code of Laws. Liaison constituency shall present approval from the organization or constituency they intend to represent. Liaison candidate shall present to the student senate a list of qualifications and policy objectives at least 1 week prior to confirmation. Liaison will be responsible to all guidelines as defined in Chapter 301 of the Code of Laws. Liaison shall serve a minimum of 1 office hour weekly. This office hour is to be completed in the liaison's constituency. Additional hours may be required at the discretion of the Senate Executive Committee. And then I shifted Robert's rules down when sub 1. So to explain, we obviously have liaisons. They are said in the Constitution, but it's only 1 sentence. And so this is sort of expanding on that, how they're confirmed, what their absences are. So that's what Chapter 301 is. Chapter 307 is how also establishes that they present 1 week prior the policy objectives and qualifications in line with everybody else that we confirm. And so this is just sort of setting that all out. The section that it belongs to is underneath with parliamentarian, technician, and other sort of non-voting Senate members, and so that's why I shifted Robert's rules down one line. Any questions? Yeah.
So it's going to be at large. Did this bill go through code of laws as well?
It did not. It was approved by the chair, but it did not.
Craft.
So just per the code of laws, one of the roles of the president pro temp is to decide if there is debate about whether a bill should go through one committee or the other, whether or not like which committee should go through. I do recognize the point that this is a code change. However, it has gone through exec, so the code of laws chair has approved it. I never had any real internal debate about whether this was within Melser's reign, or Senator Melser's reign to approve. If there had been debate, maybe I would have switched it to the code of laws, but it seemed like passing it through exec that everyone was on board, that this was a change that was needed to be made, a change that wasn't unprecedented. It was taken from documents that had been in the vice president's box for 3 or 4 years, I believe. I think just the way it came through was really no complaints until potentially now.
Wasn't me at large. There was no complaints because we didn't know it went through code of laws. I think that might have brought up some questions, but
So
no one told us that.
my mic doesn't work, but these aren't questions anymore, so we'll have to talk about this later, unless you have a question. Coleman?
Can we pull this back to go through code of laws again so that we can look at it? I mean, I point of order, I don't know the exact terms to do this, but I'd like for this to go through a code change, this thing to go through code of laws.
I'll answer through Graf.
The proper procedure would be to table it for 1 week with the intention of sending it through a different committee. I am not 100% positive we can do that as a future order or as it has to be a current order. But if so, that would be well, someone would have to make a motion to do that.
I motion to table this bill for 1 week with the intention of pulling it through the code of laws committee.
So I could be wrong, but I think since it's already passed through Senate exec, that it has, like, you can't just kick it back to a different committee. It has to like go through and then fail and then be kicked back. Like it has to basically die on the floor and then be drafted again through code of laws. I've never seen it happen in real life, so I could be wrong. But I've never seen a piece of legislation pass Senate exec and then get kicked back to another totally different committee. I've seen it get kicked back to its same committee that it came from, but not get reassigned to a new committee.
It will just have to become a current
Can
order.
Question, can it get pulled back into the executive committee?
Yeah. You could. That's what table. Like, if you table it, then y'all can just review it again for the next agenda, or for the next. Like when y'all approve the agenda again this week.
What question has been
Sorry.
asked of me? There can't be a motion made on a non-current order. Ashley's had her hand up.
Can we ask why it didn't go through code of laws?
Brandon?
I don't know, according to the code, I'm not certain, I just thought it was appropriate to remind.
Graf?
I would like to address it, or address the question to Senator Mather. To clarify and kind of ease this whole confusion out, Senator Mather, I don't know, this isn't a question of the bill, but could you pull this bill and look at it in your committee meeting, and if there isn't any discrepancies with, or that your committee finds, then we table it as a future order, or as a current order, since there is nothing we can do for 1 week.
After education, excuse my voice, I'm sorry. I don't know exactly how to respond to that, but yes, my committee is willing to discuss this bill in our committee meeting on Wednesday and be ready to propose any future amendments whenever it does come in as a current order. Speaking on my behalf, I can say that Senator Belser was in contact with me about a specific code change, but I was never aware of exactly when it would be coming
fed up now that we can't really change what's already been done. But my apologies for the part that I've been at.
In Belster Liberal Arts, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, code changes aren't necessarily relegated exclusively to the Code of Laws Committee. They can be referred to the committee that is most appropriate, and due to the fact that liaisons are members that are that exist solely for the reason that they are not represented in Senate, I felt that it was most appropriate to go through the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee. And so I also don't believe that it is the role of a senator that's not a chair to decide where a bill goes. But yeah, so I see no objection. If there is an objection to the actual content of the bill, maybe the syntax of the bill, I would like to hear a question regarding that, but I haven't heard one yet. So.
Just in engineering, you say that it was appropriate for the DEI committee to go through this. I'm just curious, like, what are specific reasons of why you thought it was appropriate to go through the DEI?
Yeah, so like I said, liaisons are confirmed, and they exist solely for the reason that they are not represented in this body, and so the reason why we have them is to give policy objectives to the rest of the senators and for us to decide that there is a voice that's not represented that should be in the room. And so because the committee that most deals with those types of individuals, those types of organizations is the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee, I saw it fit that it would be referred to the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee.
Just from what I see, does this bill have anything to do with diversity, equity, or inclusion? I don't see it.
I believe that's the Senate exec probably. So I think that's my answer.
Awesome. Okay, well, that's going to conclude questions. Thank you, Brandon. All right, well, that concludes future orders. I have a few announcements. Before I have those announcements, I was going to offer you all the chance. I guess I was going to offer Joey the chance to come introduce himself to all of you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Kelby Lamar, Assistant Director of Student Involvement for Governance. I'm located on the 3rd floor. I'll be working with SGA, BSU, and ISO, the governance-based organizations, along with Brad Smith, Jamie, and Alexis Davis. So if you all ever have any questions, concerns, you can reach me on the 3rd floor. I'll usually be at these Senate meetings every other week. So you can look to see me about twice per month at these meetings. Same with SGA Exec, since those meetings conflict with BSU General Assembly. But yeah, look to see me every couple weeks at these meetings, and if you ever need anything, feel free to reach out to me.
I also forgot to let the chaplain speak at the beginning of the meeting. So Mr. John David Jones can go now.
Hey y'all, I just wanted to take a second to remind y'all that it's okay to say no to things. I know that a bunch of people in this room are very driven individuals. And I've definitely overcommitted myself this semester. So I just want to remind y'all to say no to some stuff and to really like put your head and your feet in the same space. And to really like enjoy the life that's in front of you, because if you do so much, you won't even realize what's going on around you. That's pretty much it this week. Thank y'all.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Jamie, do you have anything? Awesome. Okay, so I have a few things. So everyone please pay attention. So numero uno is that I would love a little bit more participation / engagement with the materials that I send out and the messages that I send. I know a lot of you probably did read the email as was validated by everyone's attire tonight in the navy color theme. But please, when I send it a message, I would really appreciate you all taking the time to read it and then engage with whatever action I requested. So we have 34 senators. I had 13 likes on my message. And that's a little annoying, I'm going to be honest. And also, the link I've requested now for 3 weeks. If you have received a Senate office hour sign to report that in that link, there are still 3 unaccounted for that are no longer in the office. And I would really appreciate whoever that was to take the time to do so. Graf, is the Zoom still open?
I'm not on Zoom, so
Okay, well, my laptop did die, but that's none the matter. I was going to immediately send out a survey for all of you to respond with your availabilities. What's that?
You want me to send it out to the listserv?
Yeah, if you send out to the listserv right now, all of you, sometime tonight or tomorrow, please go fill this out. It's so that I can finally get out to Lynn over in dining the hours which you'd be able to complete. All of you expressed the most availabilities to complete a dining office hour. And like he said before, that was going to be able to give y'all potentially a free meal as well as a nice involvement office hour. So if we could please do that, that would be awesome. Please engage with me because I give so much and it's a little tough when I don't get a response back. Second, I go and talk to Lady very frequently about ways that we can improve and we can get better. You all know we were under intense and high scrutiny through a very public eye, and we will continue to be that way for the rest of the year based on how our Senate began this year and how we entered it after our summer term. And so I just ask of you to be very cognizant of your actions on the floor in the way that we're treating the procedures of the meeting. Namely the fact that her biggest comment towards us when we had the confirmations go back on the floor as a current order for the judicial branch was that it looked like it was our first meeting to a lot of people who talked to Lady who watched the live stream. And unfortunately, I think if anyone watched that live stream tonight, it could have looked like this was one of our first meetings. A lot of you are still talking out of turn, not responding with your name and your college. That's not things to like get mad about or scorning you all for, but I do want to say that I really want us to be cognizant and aware of it. I'm not gonna lie, Andrew, you made me laugh so hard. I'm not really mad about it, but if we could also please come up in our full attire whenever presenting stuff. I hate to pinpoint you out. I thought it was funny too. We're more than welcome to laugh and have fun. I did that all the time when I was a senator, but I also ask that if we're going to do that, that we're following all the rules and procedures at the same time. So with that being said, I'll dismiss everyone. I know that you're all capable of amazing things, so I'm really not too worried. Thank you. Have a good evening.